Good morning. I was talking to a friend of mine about some of the things that have been happening recently in the internet marketing world, and some of it's, downright kind of nasty. Um, and I thought I would do this quick video about something that I've been thinking about for a long time, and that is that the internet marketing space is a lot like the gold rush of the late 19th century. So, in the gold rush, you had people who were explorers, and they went out into the mountains, along the streams, and wherever they thought they might be able to find gold, and some of them found it, and some of those people became very rich. Now, word spread, and there was a second wave of people who rode in on the coattails of the people who were the explorers. But they were the early responders, and a lot of them made money. And then came along the people who were not willing to do the work, but who were willing to be mean-spirited, I suppose you could say. They had their own way of making money. A miner might be on his way out to his load, and he would be on his way back in with the proof that he had gold, and he would disappear. And suddenly someone else was working that load. It happened a lot, actually. There was a lot of violence and a lot of not very nice things that were happening around the gold rush. And then there were the people. I read a journal a few years ago written by a young boy who accompanied a farmer from Ohio out to Virginia City following the gold rush, and by the time they got there, all of the gold was taken. So this farmer, who was a smart man, said, "You know what? I'm looking around, and these guys need food. They need vegetables. They need meat. They need eggs. I have cows. I have chickens that I brought with me." So they went on up to the Yellowstone Valley and homesteaded up there, and grew vegetables and provided meat and eggs and produce to the miners in Virginia City, and made quite a bit of money. Same thing here in Washington State. During the caribou gold rush in British Columbia, there were cattlemen who got wise, and there was a huge cattle drive in eastern Washington. It was larger than the famous one. What is it called? The Cimarron Trail? Larger than that, the Caribou Trail went from Pendleton, Oregon, all the way up to the caribou country of British Columbia. And the stories go that when the cattle arrived, all the people came out and cheered because finally they had meat on their table, and all the cattlemen were making their gold by taking it out of the pockets of the people who were digging. So those are and then there's the final one where after the people moved on from one gold town to another, some very enterprising and smart people came along and said, I wonder what happened when those guys came in with their gold dust to the bars and put down their money. I bet some of it fell through the cracks. And so, in fact, there were people who made quite a bit of money going in under the buildings in the gold rush towns and recovering the gold that way. So those are all metaphors for different ways that people make money online. Now, the one that is really bothering me today is I think that there are people out there who are intentionally sabotaging other people's work. And the very recent rash of YouTube slaps to people who are very famous marketers, people who are very successful, many of whom are not, slapping their links on every video, but giving some really good information. They're getting slapped now. And what apparently is happening is some of their competitors are saying to YouTube, oh, this is not appropriate. And YouTube doesn't really have a good means of evaluating. So they just, knee-jerk reaction, shut down the marketers. It's a sad thing, and I think it's, as you go into this field, you really need to think in terms of your ethics. And anytime you put down another person's company, anytime you do something intentionally to undermine someone else's efforts, people are wanting to put meat on their table. They're wanting to provide a better life for their family. There's plenty for everyone. Honestly, you don't have to resort to these kinds of tactics. It makes me very sad. But again, it's human nature. You go back to the gold rush, and there were always people waiting to waylay the miner who actually had made it. So that's my thought of the day. Kind of a sobering thought, but one that I think is really important to consider. Check your ethics. Talk to you later.